Hello, it's 9:30. First day of summer, though it didn't look like it. June 21st, 2023, and some areas already dealing with rain, mainly to the south. If you were in New Jersey, particularly Ocean County and the Jersey Shore area, you've been dealing with rain for much of this afternoon. Fortunately for us, you can see that the rain has been kept just to the south. The thicker clouds has been kept to the south as you see this warm front make an approach at us here. And to the north, lots of smoke in Canada. Lots of smoke, but that's where it's going to stay this time. You can see lots and lots and lots of smoke up there in Canada. And we're going to look at that as well in a moment. Let's go look at the radar right now, and you'll see here's the rain. And again, it's mostly over Jersey to the south of us. And this will be working its way north because we have a low-pressure system here. High pressure retreating. This low pressure is going to be moving up the coast and bringing rain chances with us here, and you can see there's the warm front off to the south and this high pressure area that's sort of building into the Midwest a little bit, and then you have another area of storms into the more focused this time in Wyoming, Colorado, and Nebraska. So let's go to the latest conditions outside right now. We'll just show you what the day was like before we do that. We had, again, it was clear to the north, and if you look to the north, you could see blue sky. This is Southern's Lake here. You could see blue sky. It was still a pretty-looking sky. Again, you could see the blue sky. There was no smoke in the air today, so the air quality was good. But as you look to the south, you can see the darker clouds. This is Argyle Lake looking to the south here. And then you can see another look. Here's the brighter skies to the north, to the south, the darker skies where the rain is. And let's go to the next one here. So, and again, this is looking south. You see the darker skies. Again, darker. This is looking north, and you can see the north. There's the blue sky there that we didn't get into. And then this evening, again, this is looking south. You can see this is definitely rain falling just to our south from the clouds, but it was dry where I was at the train station there. And then this is again looking north with the dark clouds starting to move overhead, and again the brighter skies on the horizon there in the north. That just never got to us today. So let's go take a look at what we got going on outside right now in terms of temperatures, weather and hazards map. First of all, you can see tornado watch in effect for parts of Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado. South of that, severe thunderstorm watch in Colorado. Looks like we have some flash flood warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and one tornado warning as well. Excessive heat continues in Texas. And it looks like there's a little area of severe thunderstorm risk in East Texas as well. Air quality alerts in the Great Lakes for wildfire smoke. And then as you look into our area, it looks like southern New Jersey, we do have some coastal flood advisories. Very cool outside today. What do we got out there? It's really, really cool out there. I don't think we even made it out of the 60s. Islip is 63, but unfortunately, I get home and I'm walking to my neighborhood, and literally the wind just stops, gets hot, and my window, I still got to have the air conditioner on tonight. That's right, AC is on because it's still 70 degrees outside my window. It's not cool at all outside. It's just unbelievable. You can see those gusty easterly winds that we have there, some really gusty easterly winds. But again, that really just can't make it in there, so we're about 5 degrees warmer than we have 65. So 65 or so, you're adding 5 degrees. If I lived in a normal place with cross ventilation that wasn't surrounded by big apartment buildings, then I probably could have the air conditioner off. But I can't. I have to have it on. So 61 at Gabreski. And again, low dew points pretty much. As you make your way into New Jersey, though, the dew points are higher, and that's where they've been reporting some light rain a little bit on and off. They did have some light rain earlier. It looks like maybe now it's not light rain. Let's go and take a look at Belmore, Farmingdale. Find that one wherever it is. I think it's north of here. That's Howell still. Trying to find the Belmore, Farmingdale Airport. That's Jackson. Here's Belmore, Farmingdale. And they were reporting rain for a time earlier. Let's see what they had. So, they were reporting light rain actually for a good part of the afternoon. And then it kind of stopped for a little bit. You can see definitely more moisture in the air there, higher dew points. But they were still very cool, only in the 60s today. Looking at what the day was like at Islip, 63. So let's see, 63, and you can see clear, not really. They're high clouds, but see a little warmer here because we had the sun. So we did make it into the low 70s, still below normal, but we did make it into the low 70s, which is interesting. So warmer where the sun was out, and actually turned out to be cooler in Jersey. We did have sunshine today, although it was heavily filtered by the cirrus. Which is going to be better than what we're going to be dealing with tomorrow. So looking at your highs on the map here, you can see 68 at West Hampton, 72 for a high. So 72 generally at Islip, the city 72. If you're on the South Shore, upper 60s, and mid 60s if you're in Jersey because of the clouds and the showers that were going on. And we can see, again, it looks like there's a gale warning also in effect as well because of these easterly winds that we've been seeing here, and they're going to actually pick up. So let's go look at the lows tonight, lows overnight, lows in the upper 50s generally, low 60s in Jersey. So lows weren't too far off the mark, but the highs sure were. Let's go and take a look at our Almanac here. So Islip, the high was 72. Normal high is supposed to be 79, so 7 degrees below normal for the high. The low was 57. That's still 6 degrees below normal. So, yeah, quite a bit below normal, 6 degrees below normal for the day. Central Park, averaging also about 6 degrees below normal. So, yeah, quite a cool day. And tomorrow might even be cooler because we won't see any sun, and we're going to have this rain around that we're going to be dealing with as this warm front starts pushing into the area and bringing the rain with this low pressure system that we got that's approaching. Before we get to that, let's talk about Hurricane Brett, Tropical Storm Brett. It's going to be a hurricane really soon, I think. So I'll read the first advisory here. Hurricane Hunter plane approaching Brett, strong winds and heavy rainfall over portions of the Lesser Antilles beginning on Thursday. Its location 13.4 north, 54.6 west, about 330 miles east of Barbados. Maximum stay wind 65 miles an hour. It doesn't have much more to go. West wind at 15 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 1,000 millibars, 29.53 inches. And we're going to look at that on the visible satellite right now. And by the way, this is the MODIS satellite. You can see all the wildfire smoke. It's staying in Canada, but again, it's going to be pretty thick in parts of Quebec. And who knows, it's probably going to make it across to Europe. But you can see the wind is coming from the south, so it's blowing the wildfire smoke away. It's blowing it instead toward the northeast. And if we go look at Brett, which is right here, that is a healthy-looking storm right there. I don't see an eye, but it definitely is a healthy-looking storm. And then we're watching this disturbance as well. So let's go back to the Hurricane Center here, and we'll go to the map here, and because we have two things that we've got to watch out for. So if we go to home, you'll see you have Brett, and then we have this area here, 80% chance of cyclone formation. It's very early to see storms popping up in this part of the Atlantic this soon. It really is very early. So let's go to the satellite imagery on Brett. We'll go to current storms, and we'll look at Brett right now on the infrared satellite, the enhanced infrared. And you can still see that convection popping up, maybe a little less disorganized, less organized, but still, I think it's on the verge of becoming a hurricane. Looking at your map here, you can see they really don't want to have it strengthened to a hurricane yet, but I think it could possibly briefly reach it. Certainly flirting with it. It's not that far off. But you can see it stays a tropical storm, hits these islands overnight, and then goes into this area right here, south of Jamaica. And maybe we'll have to see if it ever winds up in the Gulf or not. I'll have to look at some of the other models for that. Well, here we go. Here are the models. And it doesn't really go into the Gulf. Instead, it goes into the Yucatan Peninsula, maybe south of that. So it stays pretty far south, fortunately, so it shouldn't be affecting the mainland at all. Your intensity guidance, some of them take it briefly up to Category 1. Most of them keep it around tropical storm levels. All right. Then we have this other area. I think it's 93 invest. Yep, this is 93 invest. And this is the other area here. Looking like it's definitely in decent shape. And on this one, the models are a little bit different here. Obviously, ways away, but this goes a little further to the north. And hopefully recurves out, but we're a ways off with that, for sure. So let's go to the models here, and we'll take a look and see what we have as we head into the rest of this week and this weekend, unfortunately. Yes, you see all this mess over here now. The drought will be over after we're done with this. And somebody commented, why are you complaining when it's dry? Why are you complaining when it's wet? I'm complaining because it gets stuck. That's why. You're either too dry for too long or too wet for too long, instead of having things moving along and having a happy medium. We don't have that because the jet stream is all dysfunctional because of climate change. All right. So let's go take a look at the surface first. And you'll see here's this low pressure here. And you see that rain that will be arriving overnight and will be around for a good part of tomorrow. Maybe a break by the evening. This is a low-resolution GFS, but you'll see that tropical moisture comes streaming up. And we'll have rain chances every single day. Though it seems like it gets a little better as we head toward the later part of the weekend into next week. And then another low comes through. And then maybe after that we can get some high pressure in and give us some dry weather to end the month. But we'll have to see. That's a ways off right now. But long range doesn't really show any big heat ups as far as our area is concerned. Speaking of heat ups, let's go back to the weather and hazards map. And if I look at the highs, or we'll do station plot. First of all, you see those wind gusts. But let's go down into Texas because that's where they're dealing with some pretty crazy heat right now. Let's see how bad it is. How about 104 with the dew point 61? Or at least the dew point's dropped a little bit. Let's see, 100 degrees, the dew point is 68. How you like that? So that's the kind of heat they're dealing with there in Texas, and it's going all the way up. Look at how far north it's going. 104 in northern Texas. At least the dew point's 58. So it's a little drier, at least. They're getting some drier heat, but still pretty damn hot here in North Texas as well as New Mexico. I think that's still That's New Mexico there, 100 degrees. All right, so still pretty hot. It doesn't really get better until you go to Arizona. But New Mexico also dealing with some pretty hot weather. Parts of New Mexico also dealing with that as well. If we go look at the highs in this area here, let's see what the highs were. Oh, wow, very hot. So this kind of heat is might be record-breaking. 112. I mean, look at how far it goes, too. All right, so Amarillo, you still got near 100 degrees. So this heat is going to continue to be in this area, and it's going to continue to get worse as time goes on. And if we go and we look at Texas heat, which I am going to do, I'm going to put this in here, Texas heat, you'll see smashes records with no relief ahead. This is from the Weather Channel. The troubling heat in Texas and ties to climate change in 5 maps. And Texas grid operator. Let's hope that they don't have power shortages again. Sweltering heat tests Texas power grid and patience because thousands are still in the dark from the storms and with no air conditioning. And they don't even provide, Texas is the kind of state where they don't even provide, like, they'll have shelters open during the day, but what about at night? There is no relief ahead. No relief at all from this. These are the records, all-time records that have been tied or set so far. Del Rio, Texas soared to 113 degrees on Tuesday, topping their previous all-time record of 112. Wow. Laredo got up to 115, which tied their all-time records. San Angelo, Texas, first tied their all-time record on Monday, went 111, and then smashed it on Tuesday, reaching 114. And it's reached 114. It gets too hot. Hot enough to bake cookies in your car. How about that? That's crazy. So that's the kind of dangerous heat. Texas is like going to become one of those places that's just unlivable. I don't even know how people can live there as it is with the heat. I really don't. But anyway, that heat will continue to be over there. If we look at our temperature map here on the GFS, you'll see there really won't be any relief at all. We're going into tomorrow. You'll see that heat there. And you'll see that heat also shooting up into, you can see the heat starting to shoot up into New Mexico there. And it just continues. Saturday, Sunday, it just continues unabated there. And it only gets worse. And some of that heat starts working its way into Arizona, too. I know I said a little while ago, I wish I was in Flagstaff, but maybe my next week I won't want to be there because it looks like it's going to get pretty hot. Somebody commented, though, it doesn't really get hot there because it's in the mountains, but it can still get hot, Still get into the 90s, But look at this heat in Texas. My gosh, it's just continuing next week. So Texas is going to bake. And this is the problem. The weather is stuck. Nothing is moving. Again, nothing is moving. You can see what we've got going on. The heat just makes its way up into further north into Oklahoma, and then into Missouri and Arkansas and Kansas. It's just unbelievable. It just doesn't go anywhere. It's just stuck right over there, and then it just spreads all across the South, and it's just unbelievable what's going on. So maybe, again, some relief as we get into July. But this is all because of this jet stream pattern. So if we go here and we look at the jet stream here, which we'll go ahead and look at here. Again, you can see the jet stream is just a mess right now. All right, so you see there's a huge ridge there in the center. It's a real wavy, disorganized mess. Things aren't moving along. You still got the troughing in the east, and that's why nothing is really changing, unfortunately. And that's the problem. Everything is kind of stuck. Unfortunately. So let's go to the northeast and we'll look at the HRRR, which hopefully I'll have enough of that in. Have 39 hours of it in. I wish I had a little more, but maybe we'll revisit it a little bit later, but, whatever. It's tomorrow and tonight that we're going to. So here comes the rain in. Rain comes in around probably around 11 o'clock. It'll fairly be light, but then it's going to start getting steady, and you can see it's going to be around in the afternoon. It's going to be lingering around. Scattered showers. It won't be like a constant rain, but it'll be scattered showers throughout the day tomorrow. Then a break, and then here we go Friday. More scattered showers on Friday as well. And again, that's as far as this run will take us out to early Friday, maybe like early in the morning Friday, and that's it. You can see more showers coming for us on Friday. So if we look at the total accumulated precip here, you'll see we're going to probably get, some areas could get an inch of rain. Most places will see at least a half an inch of rain. So the good news is this will end the drought situation that we've been dealing with. All right, we will look at some more models as well. So looking at dew points and wind flow, you can see easterly winds continue to be on the strong side. Increasing levels of moisture tomorrow, continuing with an easterly wind, and even when it's not raining, I worry we may be dealing with some annoying drizzle. So it may not be a pleasant day to be out at all if we have the drizzle. And then once that passes, the wind shift to the south, and then we get into this more tropical, humid air mass. And again, the southerly flow keeps the smoke away, but we will have the rain chances. And you can see dew points well into the 60s, so it will get quite humid as well. So looking at the temperatures, obviously with that clouds and the showers around tomorrow, we're not making it out of the 60s. Tonight probably won't drop that much. And then the temperatures actually rise overnight probably into Friday morning into probably close to 70. And then that's as far as we got for Friday. Like I said, I don't have those additional 10 hours unless we come back and wait for them. We can look at a few more. We can look at the let's go look at the few other models. Let's go look at the NAM3. I don't think now, of course, don't have enough of the NAM3 on the 0Z. So let's see how the NAM looks at this situation for tomorrow with the rain. So here comes the rain, and it won't be heavy. It won't be any. It looks like it does have a heavy thunderstorm hitting possibly the east end. So it could be some downpours tomorrow, on and off. Mainly, like I said, it's mainly going to be throughout most of the day into the afternoon, and maybe eventually getting some break in the evening. And then here we go with another round of rain to start off Friday. And then it looks like it wanes as we get later into Friday a little bit. So it won't be raining all the time, but there's going to be rain chances out there. It's going to be like, that tropical type of setup that you're going to have. And if we look at the dew points here, which we can use on the NAM, again, showing you that humidity, you'll see that southerly flow. Dew points getting close to 70 on Friday. So it's going to feel tropical out there. That's for sure. It's going to feel tropical. Let's go to the temperatures on the NAM. So Friday will wind up being warmer. If you're more inland, you could probably get up close to 80 degrees. And again, it's just going to be a tropical feel to the air. It's going to be humid, very humid. So get ready to sweat. Cloud cover, obviously plenty of it tomorrow. And then for Friday, you'll see we'll still maybe have a few breaks, but with this pattern, you're not really going to see too much in the way of sunshine. The GFS, obviously, same deal here. Plenty of clouds around, and we're going to be stuck in it for a while. After that, I'm not going to go any further with the clouds, but I will go look at the humidity with the GFS. So you'll see we'll have that humidity with us on the weekend as well. Into Sunday as well. Southerly flow. With a southerly flow, it means it shouldn't get too hot, but you still see the humidity, the flow off the ocean. And then as we get toward next week, maybe, like I said, we can get some drier air in, maybe for Wednesday. But again, if we have a lot of fires going on in Canada, that may just bring in more smoke as we deal with to wrap up the month here. So I have to see what happens here. But you can still see, generally speaking, in the long range, still see more humidity coming as we get through into July. So it was nice not having the humidity, but now it has starting to arrive just in time for the official start of summer here. Your air temperatures, let's look at them through the weekend here. Like I said, no real big heat. Maybe it'll be in the low 80s. Maybe it'll heat up a little more in New Jersey on Monday. But no real big heat to speak of. Fortunately, that's, like I said, that's a problem for Texas, and they're going to continue to deal with it. Dew points as well, which is something I want to look at as well, because we're going to look at this dew point chart here, and again, showing you that they'll be dealing with humidity too, along with that heat. But they'll be, again, pretty much tropical air in the eastern two-thirds of the country with higher humidity, and then we finally see that drier push try to come in as we get toward next week. So it won't be too long of a stretch with the humidity. We'll get a break eventually, but we will have a little bit of a stretch of it. But we could definitely use the rain, and hopefully it will put an end to this fire risk that we've been having. And we also have an abnormally dry. If we look at the drought watch, the drought monitor here, monitor New York. I'll just Google this here. Here, let's see if we can get this drought monitor here. You'll see we are in an abnormally dry, and part of the state's actually in a D1. All right, I think New Jersey's in that abnormally dry as well. But after this, I think we should get out of that. I don't think we'll be abnormally dry, fortunately. So we won't have to deal with that. And now the severe weather, obviously looking at the Storm Prediction Center, you could see the enhanced risk into northern Texas, Colorado, Wyoming a little bit, and parts of Nebraska. So you can see that. And then as we go into tomorrow's outlook, you'll see that it's same area again. So nothing moves, again, because, again, nothing is moving because the jet stream is kind of stuck. We have the stuck pattern that we have that we've been dealing with. And, again, if we look at the upper air, you'll see here, again, you got just another cutoff low. But unlike before when the cutoff was over here in the Gulf of Alaska pulling down us down in a northwest flow, this time we're in a southerly flow with a ridge in the Atlantic. So that's going to pump up the moisture for the East Coast. That's the difference from the last time. But you can see no overall change. Then another regular trough comes in. But you still see lots of ridging up in Canada, which is not going to be good for the fire situation over there. That's going to continue to be a problem. I can look at the European as well. And I don't think there's really much of a difference here. But we will look at the European. There really isn't much of a difference. So whatever the case is, we will be getting some rain. And again, if we go to the GFS and look at total accumulated precip, see how much rain we're going to get. And again, this is through tomorrow night. We went over to Friday. Let's move this over here. And you'll see it adds up through the end of the weekend. New Jersey could see over 2 inches of rain. So it will be a wet period, and I think most sites will see between 1 and 2 inches, and maybe even more than 2 inches of rain. Hopefully putting an end to this abnormally dry period that we've had. Luckily, we're not in a drought yet, but if it were to continue, we could be, and we don't really want to wind up there either. However, you'll see that there's a rainfall hole over Cape Cod, of all places. So we have to always watch out for that sometimes, may not be as active as with the rainfall as expected. You know, we'll go to the smoke model here and just, I mean, no need to really run this because fortunately the flow is not going to take the smoke our way, but we will look and show you where it is going on the RAP smoke model here. And you'll see most of it staying to the north, and again, it's all staying to the north, the flow, but it will wind up going, perhaps, it's probably going to wind up going all the way to Europe. Yeah, I think that whole cloud is going to wind up going to England, and they're going to be getting maybe an orange sky all the way over there. It's entirely possible. It really is. It's absolutely crazy, too. Absolutely crazy. I want to look at a few more satellite loops of Canada. Let's go to Canada, northern U.S., and let's see if we can at least get a little look and see what's going on here. And you can see that big ridge, and there are the fires going. So you can see these fires are, I don't think there's going to be much rain. Yeah, a whole bunch just flared up in Ontario now. So now we have huge wildfires going on in Ontario. And it looks like there's another area of smoke that might be trying to go into Maine a little bit. And then these fires are still firing up, too, I could see, over here in British Columbia. So if we look at the other one here, it's just British Columbia, southeastern Alaska is the one. Let's see. Yeah, those flared up, too. So and you still got fires going on in Alberta, too. So, you know, your chances of getting clean air from Canada, you're almost better off getting tropical air at this point. Even though it's going to be humid, at least you won't have to deal with the smoke. So I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night. Thank you for watching.